internationally. There are two main types. Steam or thermal coal. This is used in power stations to generate electricity and also used in some industrial processes. And coking or metallurgical coal, which is used in the iron and steel industry as part of the production process. A third type of coal, anthracite, can be carried, but is usually in smaller shipments, destined for domestic or smaller-scale industrial plant. Stowage factors are in the range 0.79 to 1.53 cubic meters per ton. In the ISBC code, coal is given the class MHB, standing for may be hazardous in bulk. These are materials which may have chemical hazards when transported in quantities, but are not included in the IMDG code, which only covers packaged cargoes. Coal is usually a Group B cargo as defined by the IMSBC code, unless specifically declared as Group A or Group C. Both main types of coal cargo can in a variety of grain or lump sizes of up to about 50 millimeters. Coal with a grain size of less than 7 millimeters, often called small coal or coal duff, should be treated as a Group A cargo. Coal particles up to about 1 millimeter mixed with water can also be offered as a cargo. These are Group A cargoes as defined in the IMSBC code, and all precautions necessary when carrying cargoes that may liquefy must be taken. Coals vary widely in chemical content, depending on where they are mined, how they are transported to the port, and how they are stockpiled. Coal is made up mainly of carbon, but includes oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, and sulfur in varying amounts. This variation in chemical content gives rise to a range of hazards. When carried in bulk, coal can create these hazards: a risk of explosion, self-heating, leading to a fire, corrosion of ship structures, toxic gases can be given off, causing oxygen reduction and possible suffocation, and finally liquefaction. The IMSBC code contains details of the various coal cargoes and their hazards. The precautions to be taken are also detailed. The IMSBC code should always be consulted when coal cargoes are to be loaded, and then as necessary during the voyage. We will now look at these hazards in more detail. All types of coal cargo give off methane gas. It is flammable when mixed with air in the right proportions. Methane-air mixtures containing between 5% and 16% methane may make an explosive fire. This can easily be ignited, for example by electrical or friction sparks, or a lighted cigarette. If we keep the methane level in the hold below 5%, there is not enough to allow a fire or explosion. This is known as the lower explosive limit, or LEL, of methane. The IMSBC code says that a methane concentration of less than 20% of the lower explosive limit, LEL, is acceptable. Some owners who are experienced in the coal trades will insist on the necessary ventilation taking place if the methane concentration reaches 10% of the LEL. Care needs to be taken to check what the device used for testing the atmosphere above the cargo is showing. An explosimeter will be designed and calibrated for specific gases, usually methane and hydrogen. These meters show the relative concentration of the atmosphere to the LEL as a percentage, the LEL being 100%. The display is different on meters. A methanometer reads the concentration of directly as a proportion of the atmosphere. For example, an explosimeter reading of methane at 20% LEL means that the actual gas concentration is 20% of 5%. The LEL is 1% methane. If hold space around are tight, methane can leak through into adjacent cargo holds or other spaces such as access trunks and deck houses. This increases the chance of loss or damage to both the cargo and to the ship.